Welcome to the Get Your Life Together Girl podcast. I'm Danielle Van, a cognitive behavioral therapist, life coach, meditation teacher, and author. And this is your go-to show for a powerful blueprint to personal growth and empowerment, where we're digging into the 5 master areas of your life: emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, and financial health and well-being. So if you're tired of feeling stuck and are ready to break through the barriers holding you back, whether that's trauma or you simply don't have the life tools, you've found the right place. We're combining Eastern and Western medicine with raw, real, and unapologetic conversation to shake up your mindset, elevate your life, and help you release the old so that you can be the very best version of yourself. When you think of the word hope, what comes up for you? For most of us, we grasp for hope in moments of uncertainty, and when we need it the most, it often feels out of reach. Traditional hope, or the kind that most of us are familiar with, is often tied to an outcome. It's the hope that things will get better, that we're going to reach that goal, or we're going to get through those tough times quickly. And yet, hope is so much more than that. So today, we're talking about a different kind of hope, a more sustainable kind of hope that doesn't have us rushing to an outcome, but instead giving ourselves time to heal, to grow, and to become. This, my friends, is called slow hope. And we're going to break it down, why we need it, how we can tap into it, and how we can become more resilient with slow hope. So let's not waste another second. The Get Your Life Together Girl podcast starts right now. Life's kind of crazy right now, right? Most of us are experiencing discomfort on some level, whether that's financial or mental or emotional or even physical. There's so much happening in the world. And I keep hearing one of two things. One is it's hopeless, so there is no hope. Or I just keep hoping that things will change. So it made me start thinking about hope itself. It made me think about how much hope plays a role in our lives and how we should really be, rethinking hope or leaning into hope in a way that feels a little different than most of us really kind of identify or think about hope. So it made me think about slow hope. I actually wrote on Instagram a quote. I'm going to actually read you what I wrote because it was interesting to hear so many people say that they had never heard of slow hope before. And, I guess it's probably not a very used thought process. But I wrote, have you ever heard of slow hope? It's actually quite beautiful and serves such a moving and deep purpose. You see, slow hope is different than the kind of hope that rises fast and radiates through you in moments of desperation or extreme need. Slow hope is gradual. It tucks itself into your chest, leaving permanent optimism in your heart. It builds over time, slowly growing, regardless of the challenge or uncertainty. It's a bedfellow to resiliency. Say the words to yourself, slow hope. Feel its warmth. Wouldn't you rather have something that is in it with you for the long haul rather than something that gives you an instant lifeline and then cuts ties the second anxiety and stress eases? Slow hope. It's the way to lean into growth. I was surprised by the number of DMs and questions that came up about slow hope. I was going to kind of paraphrase some of the things that were said. Someone said, I love this analogy. I've been tucking this away today so that I could pull on it as I move forward. Another person said, this made me feel validated because it is the deep hope that I have within me. Another person sent me a DM and said, I've never thought of hope this way. It's always been in moments of tragedy or when my mindset needed to be shifted, things weren't going very well. Another person asked me to expand on the idea of slow hope. And it was more of that kind of, oh, wow, there's more to hope than I thought. So that's why we're here today together, is talking about slow hope and what it really means. So let's break it down. What exactly is slow hope? It is this concept that takes a more deliberate and patient approach to optimism. Not positive toxicity, I want to put that out there, but it's this space that, unlike traditional hope, which really focuses, like I said, on achieving a certain outcome or reaching a specific goal, slow hope is about trusting the process. Trusting, right? Having safety in no matter what's happening. It's the kind of hope that understands that healing and growth and, moments, no matter what it is, take time, and that your progress in anything is never linear. It's never this straight line. Slow hope is all about acknowledging that there is a reality to life, right? There's hardships, but there's also possibility in those hardships. It's about transforming what the end result is. It doesn't have to be about the finish line, but more of that journey, the process to get there, right? So that's so cliche. Just be in the journey. Don't think about the outcome, right? It's annoying almost. But instead, this is a space where slow hope talks to us. Again, tuck it into your heart and say, I don't have all the answers, but I can trust that every step that I take moves me towards a bigger picture. And that's what slow hope is all about. When we live in this revolving world where even our news cycles are on every 4 hours. It used to be 24, 72-hour news cycle where we would be seeing the same thing over and over again until it ran its life course out. Social media is all about trending, and what used to be a video that would go viral over multiple days and, create this 15 minutes of fame for someone is really even fizzling out to hours as well. We live in quick fixes. We celebrate faster success, faster results, instant gratification, whether that's a diet or a new business venture or your personal growth. It doesn't matter. We're often told, the right mindset, the right attitude, you're going to see results quickly. Life doesn't really work that way. It's such a lie. It's such a lie because we get trapped in burnout. We get trapped in this pace that keeps us in the unsustainable, and it keeps us in a space of feeling like that our progress is always too slow and it's never enough. You have to look at that. Slow hope is about not expecting the rapid outcome. It's about not getting discouraged or having frustration or losing faith altogether, because it asks us to avoid the trap of burnout. It gives us permission to pace ourselves. It gives us permission to be kind to ourselves. It gives us permission to recognize that sometimes change takes time. It provides this idea that there is a source of optimism that is sustainable, and it's not hinging on that immediate success or an outcome. Instead, it's rooted in this belief that small, steady progress, whether that's weeks or months or years, doesn't matter, is valuable. And let's be real, let's be real, right? Many of life's deepest healing moments, whether that's from trauma or grief or just these massive life changes, take time, right? Life itself takes time. If you are here listening to this, check your age for a moment. Check your age. Did you get to where you are in 5 minutes, or did it take a progression of years, of time, of things? Slow hope reminds us that it's okay to take the time that we need. It's okay that the journey itself has to be meaningful. If we are always focused on the outcome, we lose the significance of the outcome once the outcome arrives. Oh, did you feel that? I'm going to say it again. If I'm always focused on the outcome, I am not going to feel the outcome in its fullest when the outcome arrives. It's going to be like, well, conquered that, on to the next. You miss life's greatest grandeur when you do that. Trust me, in my own lifetime, I have been an expert of rushing. I don't know about you, but it is a terrible thing to miss an opportunity to celebrate the successes because you're so focused on what's next. I had to teach myself, I don't have to be transactional in my life, that you can really set a goal and be happy with the way that it unfolds. So let's talk about that. How is slow hope different from traditional hope? Let's break it down because it does differ. Again, traditional hope is more transactional. It feels like setting a goal, hoping you're going to reach it in a certain time. I'm going to get that promotion in 6 months. I'm going to solve this problem by myself as soon as it can be. I'm going to do this, this, and this. But the problem with traditional hope is that it's fragile. Okay? It's so fragile. It can be broken within seconds. It is dependent on circumstances aligning quickly and exactly the way that we envision. It's why people say this feels hopeless, because they're drumming up a story in their head that would take all of these magnificent mountain-moving moments to create the outcome that they think is necessary. It is fragile. When we do things and they don't go as planned, traditional hope crumbles and it leaves us feeling hopeless. We become disillusioned with ourselves, with our lives, with the things around us. Hope itself can be broken so easily. And so we have to get into a space where we use slow hope. Because slow hope is not tied to an immediate goal. There is no timeline. It's more about being in the state of being than the destination. It acknowledges that life is complex, it's messy, it's unpredictable. And rather than focusing on a single outcome, it focuses on this gradual process, this progress of growth and resilience and healing. Slow hope is also more forgiving, right? It accepts that there's going to be setbacks, and it accepts that's a natural part of life, and that there's patience. It's not only necessary, but it's a sign of strength. Instead of pressuring ourselves to get something or something done fast, we embrace where we are. We see where we are. We know that we can trust the timing, and we also know that things will shift. When I push, I tend to find disaster. How about you? Right? I know that's true for so many people. I've sat with you. I know that that's the case of it. I've heard it in your DMs. I've seen it in your emails. When I pushed, things fall apart. Of course, because you're holding on hope for that transactional moment. Slow hope. It changes everything. So how do we get there? How can we actually start tapping into slow hope? How can we train ourselves to embrace the slower, more patient form of optimism? Let's break down the steps, right? First, acknowledge where you are. I say this so much, so many times. So often do I say, where are you? Where are you right now? The first step is to simply acknowledge where you are in most things. Slow hope begins with honesty. It begins with a self-reflection. It requires you to face your current reality without trying to fix it. Get down to the facts. Take a moment to sit with yourself and say, where am I? What do I feel? What do I need? Oh, those 4 questions that you hear me talk about over and over and over again. here they are. What do I want? What do I need? What do I want to feel? How am I going to get there? Being present with your current emotions is vital. It's okay to feel lost. It's okay to feel uncertain or even stuck. Recognizing that it's okay is the first step towards getting into slow hope. It's that space that things can change. It takes time. It's okay. Step 1, acknowledge where you are. Step 2, sit. Sit on your hands. Sit on the thought. Sit on everything, because you can't quick fix your way into hope. You can if it's transactional. You can't if you want it to be sustainable. You have to release this pressure for immediate results, right? Slow hope, again, isn't about how fast you get there. It's about how deeply you experience the process. I'm going to say that again. Slow hope is not about how fast you get there. It's about how deeply you can experience the process. This means let go of the idea that you need to get everything right now. Progress is often subtle. Sometimes our progress is so subtle we don't even identify, we don't even notice that progress has been made. We have to let go of the idea that everything has to be big and in our face and have a roar to it. We have to trust that the seeds that we plant are eventually going to sprout if we water it, even if we can't see it yet. I loved this analogy, this story that Dr. Wayne Dyer told, and I can't remember if it was in a book or maybe a lecture that I saw of his. I don't remember. It's been a long time, but he talked about the tomato seed. He grew up in foster care for a while, and he was at this orphanage, and they went out to plant, and he had a bunch of tomato seeds in his hand. And forgive me if I get the story wrong. It's just from my memory here, but he basically began to ask, like, how does this turn into a tomato? And he was given this instruction that you put it in the soil, you water it, you wait, and after a while, from that seed pops this plant, and it will grow and bring fruit to the plant. And he was baffled by this idea. This one little small thing that doesn't have much to it, just this small little seedling, turns into something that can feed you, that can create this movement in your life, nourish you from every aspect. And that's really the idea of allowing yourself to release the pressure of the quick fix. You have to allow the subtle process of this small little seed, this thing, this slow hope, this journey to pop through the soil and feed you, right? It's got to go through so much transformation from this one thing that is not recognizable to in the dirt, in the thick of things, pushing out above all odds to get through the ground and to reach towards the sun, to create something different. That is your life. That's the events, the things. There's no difference between you, this thought, this need, this desire, and that tomato plant, that seed. Step 3, break down those big goals into smaller steps. Small hope thrives when you break down the large, the overwhelming, into small, manageable steps. If this sounds familiar to you, I've been teaching slow hope this whole time. Right? It's a mindset. If you're breaking things down into small, manageable steps, it prevents you from being overwhelmed by the enormity of what lies ahead. If you want to change your weight, I'm going to tell you, start with water, right? Do a calculation of your body weight and determine how many ounces you need during the day. And don't think about the fact that you need to, consume 400 ounces in the week, whatever it may be. But think about the fact that all you got to do is get to 50. Think about it. Small steps. When you're tempted to see your dream as this impossible mountain, Instead, remind yourself, I'm not climbing mountains. I can't do that in one leap. I'm not going to stand at the bottom and get to the top just by a blink of the eye, by a thought. I have to take it step by step by one small thing. More so, stop thinking about everything that you're doing as a damn mountain, right? It's not. That's one of the biggest things I see so often. It's like, well, I want to do this, but it's so hard. Quit thinking about your life as a damn mountain. One small thing, one small focus. You don't have to do everything at once. Slow down. The only person with the clock in their hand is you. Put the clock down. And then you have to come to step 4, which again, one of my hardest things in my entire life has been step 4, but it's something that I will continue to work on for the rest of my days. And I think it's such a beautiful practice because it does get you into a mindset, into a lifestyle of getting into the tenement of slow hope, and that is to cultivate patience. Patience is a core tenement of slow hope. It is, because it means by accepting that things take time, it means that every time I feel impatient, I remind myself that the tomato didn't bloom underground. I have to practice patience by creating those small moments of reflection every single day, every hour if you have to. Whether that is journaling and meditating or sitting still or allowing yourself to just connect with the present moment. One thing that I often teach is that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 aspect. 5 things that I can see, 4 things that I can hear, 3 things that I can touch, 2 things that I can smell, 1 thing that I can taste. That is a grounding moment. Going outside, taking your shoes off, putting your foot in the sand, in the ground, in the soil. That's grounding. It's present moment. It's standing and deciding, what all can I take in this exact second? It's putting your hand over your heart and just feeling. Slow hope. Cultivating patience. And when the timeline starts calculating in your head, you say, I don't have to be in the timeline right now. I don't have to be in a space where I need an outcome right now. I can be in the stillness. I can be in the calm. I can be in the sit. I personally, right now in my life, am in a moment of transition. Right? I feel it. I see myself making shifts and movements towards things that are important to me. But in the same time, in the same breath, I'm in the slow hope of knowing I have to just wait for it to occur. And it will. My focus isn't off of the slow hope or off of the goal, but instead it's more in the practice of wait. The tenement of slow hope, patience. That's how you get to that space. If I think it's going to take me 6 months to get there, I need to give myself a year and be excited when I get everything pulled together in 8. It's okay. Burnout is not going to get you a step closer to what you want. It's going to get you a step further. Think about that. You must get into that tenement. You must get into a space where you connect with the present moment. And lastly, you must find gratitude for every small win. Celebrate the wins along the way. With slow hope, you begin to appreciate the small in a way that you've never done before. Because those small incremental steps, those things that move you forward, feel more like peace, right? That is peace. There's small victories in the day, and that makes you much more likely to feel like you have a purpose, that you're serving a purpose, that your life has meaning. It's much more precious right? And that's a word that I can't actually stand, precious. It feels cutesy. It feels like we're trying to put a cute bow on something, but there is a preciousness to celebrating the win. These are markers of progress that keep you moving, right? They have this feedback. And that's what we need. We need feedback. We need the win. So how does slow hope change your mindset? Let's go through that. For one, it allows you to embrace uncertainty. It shifts your mindset in profound ways. Think about it. If I'm constantly striving to fix things, I'm always in this edge of trying to do more, to be more, to get into this state of having it all, and that's exhausting. Instead, you learn to trust, to ebb and flow with your life. Slow hope offers and fosters resiliency. When you can accept that your life has ups and downs, that these challenges are going to take time to overcome, you develop a kind of inner strength that you haven't even met yet. You become less reactive to life's curveballs. You understand that setbacks are a part of the learning process. And then think about how much would change if you have a long-term perspective towards your personal growth or your change. And then we walk through the things that you need to cultivate in order to have slow hope. If you increase your patience, what do you think would happen? Right? You appreciate things more. You have less frustration when the progress feels slow. Rather than quick, you expect slow. You would have more resiliency in facing challenges because when you adopt slow hope, you recognize that you are going to feel defeated at times. You're going to understand that everything is going to feel like you're on this winding road, sometimes spiraling, right? But you know that I am going to get through this because I have a long-term hope process that's happening within me. You're also going to have more mindful focus on the long term. You're going to have more encouragement to set those long-term goals that are more meaningful and have much more value to them instead of these short-term things that feel like a rush of anxiety, a rush of action, a rush of anything. And you're more likely to invest more time and energy into the smaller steps, which means you're also going to avoid burnout. You're going to maintain motivation over time. Procrastination is not going to be such an easy grab. You're also probably going to have reduced anxiety because when you're focusing on the slow hope, you reduce the pressure to achieve everything all at once. This people-pleasing falls away. The need for perfection also falls away. Mistakes will happen. You find value in it. You allow yourself more presence, reduce stress, this outlook that feels a lot more humble, a lot more sustainable, a lot more everything. And then remember how we talked about focusing on the small wins, on the gratitude? It shifts, right? So instead of having only this massive gratitude for massive achievements, we have massive gratitude for the small. Everyday victories build in my mindset, and that's going to boost and strengthen my confidence. My self-esteem is going to be better. Everything that I do has a consistency to it, which means there's calm, there's centering, there's results from my time and my effort, there's feedback. Who doesn't want that? I want you to think about it like this. Slow hope is the quiet. It's the calm, it's the silence that you've been looking for. And while those things feel very peaceful, they are powerful forces. It's where the whisper of intention and intuition comes into play. It's the belief that even in my darkest moments, something is unfolding. I may not be able to see it because it's dark, but I know that the result is light. It teaches you that the path of transformation is not a race. It's quiet persistence. I started this conversation by saying we celebrate instant gratification. And yet, slow hope reminds you that real change requires time and nurturing and unwavering faith. I have a sign on my desk that says, "Dare to go beyond what the eyes can see." That is slow hope. It's waiting, it's stillness, it's quiet struggle, it's true strength. I want you to also understand this is not about abandoning your dreams for the sake of realism. That's not it at all. Instead, it's about rooting those dreams in that rich soil, right? That rich soil of patience and trust. Trust that they're going to bloom in the right time. They're going to feed your soul. It's going to nurture you in a way that teaches you trust. Not just in the things that you do, but in the ultimate thing, yourself. To believe every day, no matter how ordinary it is, that you are stepping into something greater. Because when you progress like that, you create a steady flame that keeps you wanting to move forward. That is slow hope. Maybe you've felt that before. Maybe you have lived this. Maybe you're living it now and you didn't know it had a name. But if you're not, I encourage you to trust it, to touch it, to use this mentality, this thought process, even for just a day and see how you feel, right? And then make it 2 and 3 and 5 and 12 and 24 and see what changes. Because savoring the moment and knowing that you're planting yourself over and over again means that you have the ability to do whatever it is that you want to do. And that's the truth. You're only as limited as the soil you're planting yourself in. You can rush, you can get a result and try the next. But there's something really beautiful about taking the deep breath, about trusting the process, about being a pro in your own life, process, and coming back to the self. Because when you do lean into slow hope, you find the essential step into getting your life together. Thank you so much for listening to the Get Your Life Together Girl podcast. If you've enjoyed these tips for bettering your life and you're not already following me on social media, please do so on Instagram, TikTok, Clapper, YouTube, Threads, and of course, anywhere you listen to this podcast. If you haven't already, visit my website, getyourlifetogethergirl.com, where you're going to find merch and different articles and different ways to help you get your life together and to accelerate in this process of slow hope. If you do not follow me on Insight Timer, go there, download that free app. There are literally millions of people active on the platform right now. I teach live classes just like the podcast here, where you can ask questions every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Central. I look forward to seeing you there. Until we meet again, be kind to yourself and others.